Hey guys, welcome to Chess Bootcamp. We are working through Chess.com's intermediate level bots, chess bots, and we're now up to, so we started at 1000, now up to 1300, and the next opponent is a bot called Jade from Belgium, described as follows. Jade's coach has taught us some aggressive openings. Be careful early on or you won't have a chance. So I'm going to play this one as black, and Jade starts with e4. So let's go e5. Knight to f3. I'll play the Petrov defense. So most common move, yeah, knight takes. And now I can play queen e7, or I can play knight to c6, the Stafford gambit. Okay, that's pretty much forced. Now bishop comes out with check, yep. King back to e8. So we're already pretty spicy. So I've lost 2 pawns, and I have an extra knight. Now, can I capture on there? That will invite a pin probably from the queen, but if queen pins, I've got knight takes there. I need to be thinking about king safety first and foremost, so I'm going to want to move this pawn to get this bishop out and try and get my king over to that side of the board, maybe. Let's just put the bishop in front of the king for now. I know it feels kind of awkward and it's cramping my queen, but I just want to play things a little safe. Okay, queen moved to there. What's the point in that? Queen's not going to come to there or there. So what about this diagonal here? Maybe we'd be attacking this loose pawn. So I'll play h6. I'm going to play defensively now, because I do have a slight advantage in material. That looks alright. Ooh, hang on. That looks aggressive, and it'll force either knight or pawn to c3. Does that benefit me? So let's say bishop to here, pawn to there. I quite like, because it blocks off c3 from the knight coming out, and then I simply maybe drop my bishop back. Oh no, I can't, because my knight's still under attack. Okay, so let's just move the knight here, adding a little bit more security for my king. This looks alright, defends the knight, lets my bishop come out. I think my knight right now is better than that bishop. I don't want to swap them off. So I've got 2 pawns off the board in return for 1 knight. So I think I'd like to get my king over to the queen side of the board, which means getting the bishop and queen out. Don't want to put my bishop on this diagonal, so fianchetto is out of the question right now. It would be a lot quicker to do a kind of artificial castle on the king side, but the lack of pawns there, the fact that the h-pawn's already advanced, no f-pawn, no, just doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm going to bring my bishop right out here. Okay, I was kind of expecting that. Let's put my knight back. Knights are now defending each other. I'll take with a queen. This is okay. Bishop back. Alright, so the pawn's undefended. So I'll bring my bishop to f6 to defend the pawn. There's no chance of queen there, because bishop can just take. Alright, this is starting to look acceptable. This pawn is now under attack. I'll push the pawn. Because notice now that I have a light square bishop, but black does not. Put my bishop there. So this then has possibilities of pushing the c pawn, and that pawn can't take because I take the queen. Okay, knight is under threat, but I think it can escape. This pawn's now undefended. Alright, this is certainly a, I would say in many ways, a much better player than any of the previous intermediate ones. So 1300, it seems like a fairly strong 1300. This move, however, is probably not Jade's finest hour, because it walks into that pin, which I think looks pretty devastating. There we go. So, Jade, you're now well down. 7 points of material down. This pawn is not hanging. Thought it was, defended by the bishop. Wow. And we have Jade's still got all her pawns on the board, but the kingside pawns are surged forward. I have an awkward knight here. I think h4 looks nice for the knight. It's got the options of check there. Do I want to get my king safe? I could. It's going to take a while to get my king over there. I may not have to castle at all because I am up in material. So, what do we do? Let's just start to simplify it if we can. I'm going to have to try very hard to lose this game. Okay, so I have basically an extra queen on the board, although I'm down a couple of pawns. Alright, so that with that move, she's threatening the pawn on g7. So I think I'll just move my king around there. Yeah, that's okay. And if pawn takes here, I've got rook across to e8. Okay, I'm going to take that pawn because if rook recaptures, then it's going onto the same diagonal as the king there, so there may be opportunities. Okay, so I've lost a pawn there. I'll just grab that pawn in the middle. I'm unconcerned. That leaves the knight undefended, or attacked, sorry. And now there should be tactics here. I can move my... No, I don't want to move my bishop with the rook there in front of the king. So let's play rook e8. Okay. That means this bishop's now pinned. But there is another loose pawn. And now I've got a checkmate opportunity. Sorry, a checking opportunity. Excuse me. I'd love to get my queen like there and win the rook. I could sack my queen there. Queen takes, rook, king takes, rook, then this rook to h1, king has to move out of the way and I win the bishop. So that's a rook and a bishop for a queen. Would leave me up, what, a minor piece? No, minor piece and a rook. But there's no need right now. I'm tempted just to play d5. Of course, this pawn's under attack right now. So let's throw in the check. Okay. Tactics wise, it'd be nice to get a pin there. Another check, because now my queen can drop back to d7 and defend that pawn. Can't bring the bishop out to attack the rook because it's pinned. Okay. So let's just play solid. The knight can come in with check, but the rook captures, so that's no good. Defending the pawn. Okay. I'm just going to move my king now behind the pawn, so releasing then my bishop to do something. Okay, so she's got check there, pawn takes, check there, no good. One attacker on that pawn. Let's develop the bishop out. So now I'm thinking d5 looks cool. Okay, that's not a bad move. I don't have a check, but I'm going to put my queen. I think that looks quite good. Hang on. Or just queen to e6. I need to watch out because we've got this pawn here which is covering these two squares from my king, so I need to be careful about sneaky checks. Checkmates on there. Okay, I think this looks like a kind of safe move. And safe is fine. Safe is the priority. When you're this far ahead in material... Oh, Lord! Okay, didn't notice that one. Only one legal move. See, it's a sneaky player. This Jade, you've got to watch your back with Jade. Okay. I think now queen to e5 attacks the rook. So now both... Oh no, it's a discovered... Check. Oh, silly me. I just capture that rook. And lose my queen. Wow! Okay, so... Nice move there by Jade. So can you see what happened is I moved my king there, back in front of the rook, right, on the f file. So now the knight can move away with a discovered check and had the opportunity to move there and grab my queen. However, materially it's not going to be enough for white, but very, very well played. So now I'm still 7 material points ahead, and I still need to tread carefully. But Jade now has only a bishop and a rook. I have 2 rooks, 2 minor pieces. So it's going to be a challenge. Okay, that seems like a blunder. Now I'm only against a bishop, alright? Have to keep on the light squares. Oh! So that was a skewer. This is a worthy opponent for sure. Jade is a good bot. Right. So I want to get my bishop onto this diagonal where it can defend this square. Now, of course, if I move back, and she's got c4, and I mean, the pawn's still defended by the rook, so I'll just move away. Just move over to this side and try and defend the pawn from there. Okay, let's put a check. The knight's got no other duties right now. Attack the pawn. Okay, so they're probably planning that, but it's covered by 3 pieces. So I can now grab this pawn. That pawn's still defended. This pawn's under attack. Okay, so you've done that, but in doing so, you've actually pinned your own bishop and walked into a fork as well. That was not the best move. King should have moved like here and at least attacked my bishop. So I can now capture with the knight, and that gives me the opportunity for a discovered attack. Don't need to do it yet. discovered check, sorry. And this is now just a walk-in, really. But I've been very impressed with this bot. This is a strong bot. And I would say over 1300 compared to humans. Whereas with the other ones, or the 1000, 1100, 1200s, have been, I think, a bit, maybe slightly overrated. This one seems very good indeed. Okay, so I have to keep my rook on the board. I think it's possible to checkmate a king with a king, knight and a bishop, but it's not easy at all. So my rook's defended by the bishop, so I'm happy about that. And now that's not stalemate, is it? We don't want stalemate. No, king's got h4. Always check. Always check for stalemate. And now we're actually in a checkmating pattern. So all I need to do is get the king. The king's in opposition, which means just 2 squares apart. Let's throw in a check now. King can't go there. Okay, now I go here and here, and now the king only has 1 move, which is there. So now, because we're in opposition, I'm controlling all 3 of these squares straight in front of the king. So the king cannot move on to the g file. So now rook to h8 is checkmate. Well done, Jade. Worthy opponent for sure. Yeah, that is a good bot, and I would say, yeah, a lot stronger than the 1200 bots, the 1100 bots. So yeah, if you want a challenge, she'll give you a challenge. You've got to be careful with this particular bot. Well done, Jade. Thank you for the game, and I'll see you soon.